Tonight on Colonial Sports Center, senior guard Jimmy Langhurst sits down with us to discuss the recent losses that tarnished the Colonials' record. Also in action was the men's lacrosse team facing the Sacred Heart Pioneers. And then we're going to hit the ice with the women's ice hockey team who face off against the Wayne State Warriors. Welcome to Thunderdome. This is Colonial Sports Center. Good evening and welcome to Colonial Sports Center. Christian Miranda alongside Chris Baginski, the type of anchor that enjoys leather-bound books and the smell of rich mahogany. But a quick update for you right now. The Robert Morris Colonials men's basketball team is in action tonight taking on St. Francis, PA. Our latest update, 69-57 in favor of the Colonials. Chris, how about some more hoops action?
All right, Christian. Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. The Colonials men's basketball team had been playing well for weeks and hadn't lost a conference game since their first contest against St. Francis of New York. That was until last Thursday when they faced the Monmouth Hawks. So let's reluctantly go to Jersey and see what happened. And we are now at the Boylan Gym, and you can see that the Monmouth Hawk is quite friendly with the fans. The Colonial should take note. First half, Mezi Nwigwe over to Mr. Jimmy Langhurst from just inside the arc. Long jumper goes down, but from outside of the arc, from downtown, Jeremy Chappelle. And if it were NBA Jam, he'd be on fire right now. Now Mezi drives to the top of the key and sinks it for two. We'll go on now to the second half. Fast break. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Rob Square doing what he does best. But it was Monmouth who came out on top, and Will Campbell with strong play inside for a guard and also able to shoot it short of the lane. That is a loss for the Colonials, 60-57. The Colonials dropping their first NEC game since the year 2008. Wallace with 9 points, Chappelle with 15 points. Robert Morris did not shoot well at all. Total field goal percentage of 37.3%.
And the Colonials hoping to rebound from that loss to Monmouth, taking on Wagner. And with a commanding lead in the conference, Robert Morris cannot afford to slip in these rankings as Mount St. Mary's, who they face this Saturday, is hot on their tails. In the first half, it's going to be Langhurst coming out firing early, knocks down that three, but the Wagner Seahawks are going to take it the rest of the way. On the attack, dishing to Clayfeld Harris. Do not touch my drum set. Harris rocking the rim and almost rips it down. Monweiler goes backdoor to Justin Drummond, and look at that, another rim rocker, and the Seahawks are on fire. Monweiler, he was all over the place in this ball game, gets the steal the other way to Clayfeld, and it's going to be Jamal Smith with the finish. Let's take another look at all of those. Clayfeld with the dunk, Drummond another dunk, and then Smith with the layup, and Wagner was absolutely on fire. And in the second half, it's more Wagner. Transition buckets kill the Colonials in this one, and it's going to be more Monweiler. If some is good, more is better. Dishing it inside to Martin, back outside to Martin for three, and the Colonials are going to drop another heartbreaker, 62-59. And for the Colonials, Langhurst had somewhat of an off game with 12 points, while Chappelle shot 6 of 18 for the field, led the Colonials with 19 points. Monweiler had a big day with 17 points. Let's go to Dallas Green, who has more Colonials basketball.
My thoughts after the game was like, we just lost 2 back-to-back games. We was in first place, had a good record. All we had to do was win 1 game since Mount St. Mary's lost, and we just didn't go out and win. I mean, it's kind of devastating because we was in this predicament last year, and we kind of fell off during the tournament. So I think we get it back. I mean, we just got to focus more and take every game to the fullest. So I think practice for this week is going to be mild, not too heavy, but not too light. On my left side of my brain, I'm thinking he's just gonna run us to death and teach us a lesson. On my right side of the brain, I think he's just gonna have a meeting after meeting and asking us, like, what's wrong with the team, like, what can we improve?
And around the NEC, it's still Robert Morris leading the Northeast Conference, a record of 13-3 coming into this game tonight at St. Francis, PA. Mount St. Mary's with a strong record of 12-4, right behind Robert Morris. Sacred Heart rounds out the top three, and upcoming in these next couple of weeks for Robert Morris, this Thursday, again tonight, taking on number 11, last place ranked St. Francis, PA. And then this Saturday, a battle of the top two teams. Mount St. Mary's comes to the Charles L. Sewell Center to take on the Colonials at 4 p.m.
2 Saturdays ago, the Robert Morris men's lacrosse team defeated the Penn State Nittany Lions, and there was much rejoicing. Last Saturday, playing in bitter cold, the Colonials proved to be anything but when they faced the Bellarmine Knights, at Joe Walton Stadium. Let's take a look. So we'll head out to Joe Walton Stadium. Line up at the beginning. Nice show of sportsmanship for both teams. And we'll start in the first quarter. Now, as a matter of fact, let's start with the opening face-off. Keith Lee gets possession and does not relinquish it till right there. First goal, first 15 seconds of the game. Now Dan Kirch is going to go low on Scott Balls, the goalkeeper, and he scores, and that would not be the last time he did so in this game. And RMU, incredibly strong. Jim Ring of the Knights takes the shot. Sal Barcia says no. Strong defensive play. And you're going to see Dan Kirch again. And he still isn't done. More on that later. Second half, third quarter. Taylor Caprosa slips, but that is merely a minor inconvenience for him. He'll just go through a couple guys and shoot it, and he'll score. Nicely done, Taylor. It shows that if you slip and fall, you can just get right back up and score. It's like a metaphor for life. And Dan Kirch again, scoring another one. And he had another 3 goals that you didn't see. I hope you brought 2 hats because you would have to part with both of them. 6 goals. RMU led the entire time. RMU 20, Bellarmine 11. Your final score. Now on to the schedule. Manhattan College visiting on the 27th. Detroit Mercy the week after that. VMI on the 7th. And it is always a strong contest when it is against the Ohio State University. That is on March 13th.
For the Robert Morris women's ice hockey team, the past 2 weeks have been a tale of feast or famine. They outscored Sacred Heart a combined 19-2 in consecutive games back on February 6th and 7th. The following week, Mercyhurst came to the Island Sports Center and dominated the Colonials a combined 13-2 in consecutive games. Let's take a look back at this past weekend when the Lady Colonials hope to rebound against visiting Wayne State. And to the Clearview Arena we go. Wayne State visiting, taking on the Robert Morris Lady Colonials hockey team. And it is the night before senior night. Chris Baginski will join you with that second game in a moment. And Catherine Stack going long distance, checking in to those rollover minutes. Must have saved those up from the previous month. Then we go to the second period. Colonials leading 1-0. No more. Sam Payton with some nifty stick work, and she ties the ball game up for Wayne State. And going to the third period, the Warriors are going to go on a scoring bench. Katrina Protopappas goes through the D, gets the difficult goal, and now the Warriors are on top 2-1. And if some Sam Payton is good, then more is better. Some fancy stick work gets her second goal of the day. That is the third unanswered goal from Wayne State. Warriors on the power play now. Lindsay DePietro off the rebound. She gets it in there. Warriors up 4-1, and then Megan Picnic, just to make this one respectable, she's going to get the assist from Rossler behind the net, and the final score in favor of Wayne State, 4-2. And for more Colonials hockey, let's take a look at Coach Nate Hammerman.
We came out and played with a heck of a lot of energy and poise in the first period and got after it and executed our game plan, pretty well. Throughout the second period, I thought we did the same. We just gave them an opportunity, and they cashed in on it. And they got some very talented players, which they can make you pay pretty quickly. In the third period, got to stay out of the penalty box if we're going to have any success. They got the number 2 rated power play in the nation, and then they made us pay. Well, just with the timeout, we want to make sure that all the players are rested and had the people on the ice that we needed to have on the ice, and then perhaps be able to cash in quickly on the 5-on-3 so that you give yourself an opportunity to still maintain a power play on the 5-on-4. So just thought it was, if you never spend the timeout, you never get the benefits of it. So.
Same opponent, but this game with some added significance because it was senior night on the island. So the Lady Colonials hoping to have a positive result. Now this is the first period. Melissa Bull shot saved by McLaughlin. You're going to hear that a few more times. But Lindsay Park, the goaltender for Wayne State, had a solid game as well. She's able to save that one out of that scrum in the middle of the net. Second period, Sarah O'Malley will center it for Brianna Delaney. Lindsay Park says no dice. And Park seems pretty unbeatable, doesn't she? Well, she proved to be anything but. Chelsea Laughlin's going to throw it to the far side, and Kristen Miles, what a shot. And you should definitely celebrate that one because that goal was special. And Brie McLaughlin, this is robbery, robbing Melissa Bull. Let's see that again, right into the glove. And then she's like to the ref, here you go, I don't need that, you do. Third period, last gasp for Wayne State, but McLaughlin will slam the door shut and then slam her stick down on the ice. Poor stick, I'd hate to be that thing. Robert Morris wins 1-0. And let's take a look at the standings. Robert Morris currently third in the WCHA. Mercyhurst first, Wayne State number 2. They've got one more doubleheader against Niagara. Justin Downs has more on the women's hockey team.
In a game dedicated to 9 senior players, who better than senior Kristen Miles to tally the only goal in a hard-fought 1-0 victory?
Definitely excited that we came out with the win tonight against Wayne State. You know, it was a great experience here at Robert Morris and definitely awesome to leave on top. So
it really felt awesome. We knew going into last night that their top line there, the top 3 guns, get all their points, and that's what they did. They capitalized on some of our mistakes there. So for us to come back tonight against them and get the win was huge.
You know what, I think that we just had a lot of excitement from it being senior weekend and stuff, and it just rolled into the game. We never gave up. It was defensive, but we definitely were hitting them hard, and I think that definitely broke them down.
And when you're talking about seniors and winning, you simply have to include goaltender Brianne McLaughlin, who played one of the best games of her 4-year career, turning away every one of the 51 shots she faced in her last appearance between the pipes at Clearview Arena.
You know, she's a fantastic goaltender. I can't take any credit for it. She's a great kid. She works hard, and she's very gifted, and she played like it tonight. So I'm real proud of her, and I'm glad that she's on our team.
Perfect end to her career at home too.
That whole third period, I was just shaking. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I wanted to win this game so bad. It was our last home game, so just a lot of nerves.
For now, the nerves have come and gone. Still, the class of '09 understands that the season isn't over, and they still have a lot to give RMU hockey.
Well, obviously leadership skills, especially building a program from the bottom. Again, we went through a lot, and I definitely learned a lot, especially as a person and as a leader. And
yeah, I would agree. I just say hard work and staying with something that you really believe in. You don't really know what the outcome's going to be, and if you stay with it, it'll be good.
They're just a fantastic bunch of humans. They're great kids. They're great people. They sincerely care about each other, care about their teammates, and they've had a very unique way to just bring our team together through thick and thin. We had our bumps in the road at times, but I think in general they do a great job of bringing everyone together and making sure that the team is greater than the sum of the parts.
The Colonial women will look to carry the momentum from senior night onto this weekend's matches versus Niagara for their final 2 games of the regular season. From Clearview Arena, Justin Downs, Colonial Sports Center.
When we come back, Ed Albert and Brandon Johnson will be strapping on the pads and breaking down some Colonials lacrosse, also men's tennis. And the women's ice hockey team prepares for postseason action. Ernie Bernard's one-on-one with head coach Nate Handrahan after the break.
Endurance, commitment, sacrifice. Rowing is the ultimate team sport. The Robert Morris University women's rowing team is looking for walk-ons. If you're strong, athletic, and have a great attitude, we'd love to have you on the team. You have nothing to lose.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. I'm Ed Albert, and we're trying a new segment here called Play-by-Play Breakdown. I'm joined by senior attack lacrosse player Brandon Johnson, and Brandon's going to go through some of the plays that they use on the team and show us how they get it done. So Brandon, let's get to the first play, the big-time play.
Okay, this is our big-time play. It's when the other team has a penalty. You can pause it here. It's kind of like a power play. In hockey, we have a man up. They have 5 guys. We have 6 guys. Right here, we're going to do a little flip in the beginning to play it. And just to get the defense going, seeing if we can find anybody open, we're going to work it to the back side, to me right here. You can pause it here. I have the ball back here. I'm going to be looking for 2 guys picking right above me. 1 guy picking down, another guy coming back. If I don't see anybody open, I'm going to work it back to Dave Morton on the opposite side. You can play it. Dave's going to get it, look for the same exact action. You can pause it right here. You can see the pick. And Trevor Moore coming off the pick with his hands free, he catches the ball and buries it in the back of the net. It's a great scripted play out that we run with man up. The guys moved it correctly, and we found the open guy on the backside. This is our freestyle. It's kind of like, it's not a really scripted play. It's another like power play style. Just work off what we see, what the defense is doing. Again, it's another like power play opportunity. You can pause it. Pat Smith over here draws his guy. Passes it to Kyle Matisse. They all draw their guys to this opposite side of the goal. Trevor Moore, again, is going to be here, and you can see me down here wide open because the whole defense is drawn to this side of the goal, which leaves me open on the back side of the goal. You can play it, and I'm one-on-one with the goalie, and I bury it short side on the.
And then is that just good execution by you guys with the power play, or is that poor on the defenses?
I feel like it's better on us reading the defense, drawing everybody to one side of the goal, and having a guy open on the opposite side of the goal. This is just a basic one-on-one play from behind the goal. Dan Kurtz here, our senior captain, is going to take his man one-on-one because he feels confident that he can beat his guy. He's behind the goal with not really a slide. If you want to pause it here, I'll walk you through it. Dan draws his guy up to about 5 yards above goal line extended, and he has a bunch of different things he can do. He can do an inside roll. He can do a kind of like a rocker step, which is the opposite of what he's going to do. He does a question mark here, which he goes up to about 5 yards again. You can play it, and he's going to roll back and bury his shot. This is called a question mark shot. He can do an inside roll. He can do a bunch of different moves that we have or that you can do from X. But that's what he does, and he did a great job burying the ball.
It's nice with a guy like skill like that. You can just find it, put it right in the back of the net, pick his corner.
Exactly. Can see where the goalie is and just bury where he's not.
All right, well, Brandon, thanks for your time. And you can catch the lacrosse team in action tomorrow at the Joe Walton Stadium, 12 o'clock sharp against Manhattan College. So again, thanks for your time, and let's send it back over to Chris and Christian at the desk.
All right, thanks, Ed and Brandon. And coming into their latest match this past Saturday against the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, the Robert Morris Colonials men's tennis squad held an overall record of 1-27 in match play. Could a healthy dose of Igor Neves cure the ailing Colonials? Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. The Colonials trying to avoid a back-to-back shutout on February 21st. It's the first doubles. Alex Nemerov and Ravi Raghavan taking on Sean Curley and Igor Neves for Robert Morris. Curley with the serve, the high backhand from Nemerov, and Neves is going to return this one. A strong forehand to the back corner. Raghavan can't get to it. No milk will ever be our milk, and the point goes to the Colonials. Neves with the serve, the beautiful return from Nemerov, but just too much Neves in the early going. But Carnegie Mellon on the attack. Nemerov with the serve to Neves. The return, Curley can't get this one. Nemerov, a smart play, has to make the Colonials work for it, and he goes cross court. And Nemerov and Raghavan are going to go on to win the match 9-7. Second singles now. Neves taking on Nemerov. If some is good, then more is better. Forehand volleys exchanged, and Neves is going to get the lucky bounce off the net, and he's going to score the point for Robert Morris. Nemerov, he's going to go on to win the match. Robert Morris 0-9 in this one against Carnegie Mellon. And let's go to Captain David Pinto.
Match hasn't gone the way we hoped it would. All three doubles teams seem to be in it, but none could pull out the wins. And then in singles, we top 3 are we're close. Our number 1 and 2 are still on the court right now, so I don't know what the score is there, but the rest of us have already lost, and it's just overall it's a disappointing day.
Ever since the beginning of the RMU hockey program, Nate Handrahan has been there. The women's ice hockey coach spoke about his relationship with the team, his coaching style, and the hockey program in general with our own Ernie Bernard.
Led by Coach Nate Handrahan, the women's ice hockey team has a unique culture on and off the ice.
I think when you have a blank slate to be able to start something from scratch, I think you're always trying to base everything on work ethic and teaching the players how to work hard and how to give themselves an opportunity to improve on a daily basis and get better. And I think everything's based on that.
This year's program clearly stands out from all the rest he has ever coached.
To really do something special here, whether it's just the fact that we're graduating our seniors or that we have an opportunity. We're going to, I think just after today, we clinched third place with Niagara losing 2 this weekend. Gives us an opportunity to play in the semifinal game and get ourselves into the championships if we do well in the semifinals.
His coaching style is uniquely different to any other team in the WCHA.
I think that I want all the players to have an underlying tone of work ethic, because in life, if you don't work for something, you're never really going to achieve to the level that you should.
With the sun setting on this year's season and the playoffs on the horizon, the women's ice hockey program are poised and ready to strike. I'm Renee Bernard, Colonial Sports Center.
The men's basketball team is in action tonight, taking on St. Francis, PA. Earlier this week, our own Gretchen Adler caught up with senior guard Jimmy Langhurst. That interview and more when Colonial Sports Center returns.
Well, I have to say the numbers are really good, and pretty much everyone loves every aspect of the show.
Right.
But the network's telling us that we have to get a new female anchor.
A new female anchor?
Any ideas?
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think. Hey, you want to be on the show?
Okay.
Thanks for joining us once again tonight. I'm Gretchen Adler, and I'm here with Jimmy Langhurst, who is a junior guard here at Robert Morris on our men's basketball team. So thanks a lot, Jimmy, for joining me tonight. And the first thing I want to ask you is, these past 2 games definitely did not go as planned. What do you feel went wrong?
I think it was a lot of things. We're kind of getting away from the little things on defensive end. And offensively, we're not doing our formula as what Coach Rice is playing. Teams are playing us different now that it's coming to the end of the season, now tournament time. And it's just something that we have to adjust to now. So I think in the next couple of practices we're going to adjust to that, and Coach is going to make some changes, and we should be all right coming into the NEC tournament.
Jimmy, do you feel that these past 2 games have been an eye-opener for you guys for the rest of the season?
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, 2 of the bottom league teams that beat us right now. So everybody's probably thinking that we're wounded right now and attack. But I mean, that's all right for them to think that. I think that we can go along with it, and then I just going to make us more hungry for our next game.
What have you guys been focusing on primarily in practice in order to prepare for your next game against St. Francis?
This last couple of practices have been just intensity, and Coach wants us to get our pride back. Basically, I mean, he thinks we lost that last couple of games. He's been calling us the fat cats. That we've been winning a lot of games, but then taking it easy. So the last couple of games it caught up to us, and right now, I mean, I think tomorrow we'll be going over more of the St. Francis PAs, like material, the plays, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think right now we're just working on intensity and our pride and getting hungry again.
And what has Coach Rice been focusing on mainly in order to get you guys back on a winning track?
We've broken down film a lot more during this week. We've on Monday, we've looked at the Wagner game, the offensive end and the defensive end, and then we watched the bad clips, the good clips. So we've been in the film room a lot this week. And then Tuesday we've been doing kind of some of the same things, but he's breaking it more down in depth, like each play down the stretch of the game. And I think that we just need to, regroup, and that's what we're going to do this upcoming game.
Right, and you guys did suffer from a heartbreak last season in the NEC tournament against Mount St. Mary's. And with that said, what type of mindset do you guys have going into this season's tournament?
I think that we have to keep that in the back of our minds, that that teams are starting to pick up on what we do, and that we're not invisible right now. And I think that we just got to keep rolling with it. Keep our pride, keep the intensity, energy level up, and like I said, we just keep that in mind, that we got beat last year and we have something to prove this year, and that we have to finish all the way to the finish line. I think we stopped short last year. We're gonna win, get to the NCAA, so hopefully that's what happens.
Thank you, Jimmy, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Colonial fans, now stay tuned, because up next we have the top 5 plays of the week, and athletes, you definitely want to stay tuned as well, because you might get to see yourself on camera. The Fave 5's coming your way, guys. You don't want to miss it.
Well, I have to say the numbers are really good, and pretty much everyone loves every aspect of the show.
Right.
But the network's telling us that we have to get a new female anchor.
A new female anchor.
Any ideas?
Man. I'm trying to think. Hey, you want to be on the show?
Okay.
And time for everybody's favorite part of the show, chock full of sugary goodness. It's Colonial Sports Center Fave 5. And at the 5th spot, it's men's lacrosse, and Taylor Caparosa, from the seat of his pants, recovers. Mom, can we get some meatloaf, please? And the Colonials are going to get the 20-11 win over Bellarmine.
Going 5-hole on that one. And there was much rejoicing. Number 4, we'll head to the tennis court. And what needs to be said other than Igor Neves? Igor Neves. Shot hits the top of the net. And we'll see that one more time in the artist formerly known as C-Scope Cam. Well done, Igor.
Nifty shot by Neves right there, Chris. Indeed. And then taken to the 3rd spot, women's ice hockey, Game 2 versus Wayne State. It's Kristen Miles on senior day, scores the lone goal. Let's take one more look. Going up top, are you not entertained? And the Colonials and the seniors get the win on senior day.
Number 2, Keith Lee, first face-off in the lacrosse matchup that occurred this weekend. And you know what? We're showing it to you in real time. We sped it up earlier. I am writing a sonnet right now in the time that it is taking this. He had that ball forever. And when he finally let go of it, he made the best of it. That's a goal, folks.
And at the number 1 spot, taking it back to senior day, once again, Game 2 versus Wayne State. And it's check the spot shadow. And the open ice, Brianna McLaughlin, access denied. I'll have a liter of cola. I don't think so. And the seniors and the Colonials get the shutout.
Here's some of the results. Cincinnati beat the Robert Morris women's lacrosse team 11-10. Men's ice hockey against Alabama Huntsville, RMU won the first one 3-1 and the second one 6-3. But women's tennis fell to Carnegie Mellon 9-0.
And if Colonial Sports Center doesn't fix your Colonial sports needs, check out colonialsportscenter.com. You can watch today's episodes tonight, and also on rmucolonials.com, links to colonialsportscenter.com.
And Colonial Sports Radio as well on that site. Here's some of the home sports you can catch this weekend. Niagara Friday and Saturday at 7:35 p.m. That's men's ice hockey. Men's lacrosse facing Manhattan College at noon tomorrow. Men's basketball Saturday, 4 p.m. against Mount St. Mary's. That is a huge matchup. The women follow at 7, and then men's lacrosse Sunday at noon against Detroit Mercy.
And coming up this week on RMU-TV, Channel 98, RMU Live every Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30. RMU Tonight, Tuesdays at 9:30. Colonial Sports Center, same time, same place. And, of course, Prime Cuts every Friday and Saturday at 11 p.m. But don't forget to catch your Colonials this Saturday at the Charles L. Sewell Center when they do take Mount St. Mary's on in that NEC battle.
That isn't just a huge game, so big that FSN actually picked it up. But come on out to the Sewell Center and cheer on the Colonials, because the way they played the past 2 games, they're going to need maybe that extra push to get them over that hump.
And Mount St. Mary's again was that upset matchup last year in the NEC tournament, knocking out the favored Robert Morris Colonials in that first round.
So a little bit of a vengeance factor in there for the Colonials. They'll want to beat their old rivals, and of course Mount St. Mary's want to try and improve their seeding. They're right below the Colonials in the standings.
And for Robert Morris, Jimmy Langhurst touching on it earlier, I'm Christian Miranda alongside Chris Baginski. Thank you to Gretchen Adler, Ed, Brandon, and the Lollipop Guild. We'll see you next week.